ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Assalamu alaikum. In this lesson, we will be covering the rule of the 7 alifs. Our learning objectives are to know what the 7 alifs are, to understand the effect of the 7 alifs when reciting, to be able to apply the rule of the 7 alifs correctly, to identify the various places in the Quran to apply this rule, and to know the exception to this rule. So, what are the 7 alifs? There are 7 alifs in the Quran that are stretched for 2 counts when stopping or pausing. But when continuing, the recitation of the alif is pronounced as a fatah. So let's have a look at the 7 alifs together. You will see multiple times in the Quran the word ana. It will be an alif, which is a small circle on top of it. So if we have a look at this first ayah, وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدْتُمْ. If we continue to recite, we don't pronounce that alif. It's silent. However, if we are going to stop there, we will say وَلَا أَنَا and read that alif for 2 counts. The next example is from Surah Al-Kahf, and the word is لَكِنَّا هُوَ اللَّهُ. So there's 2 words there. If I continue, I will say لَكِنَّ هُوَ اللَّهُ. I don't pronounce that alif. However, if I stop on that word, then I will stretch that alif for 2 counts and say لَكِنَّ هُوَ اللَّهُ. So that's basically what happens. Third example is from Surah Al-Ahzab, الظُّنُونَ. And the beginning of the next ayah is هُنَالِكَ. If I decided to join, then I would disregard that alif and say الظُّنُونَ هُنَالِكَ. However, if I wanted to stop at the end of that ayah, I would stretch that the alif, for 2 counts. So it would be الظُّنُونَ. The fourth example is from Surah Al-Ahzab, and the word is الرَّسُولَ, and the next word is وَقَالُوا. So if I was going to stop there, I would say الرَّسُولَ وَقَالُوا, and I would stretch that alif with the lam for 2 counts. However, if I'm going to join both of the words together, I would disregard that alif and I would say الرَّسُولَ وَقَالُوا. Another example, again from Surah Al-Ahzab, is the word as-sabila and then followed by the word رَبَّنَا. So if I'm going to read them separate, then I would make it into a madda and stretch it for 2 counts. So I would say as-sabila رَبَّنَا. However, if I'm going to join the 2 words together, then I would disregard that alif and I would say as-sabila رَبَّنَا. The next example is from the Surah Al-Insan. Here the word is salasila wa aghlala wa sa'ira. So we're focusing on the word salasila. If I'm going to stop there, then again I would utilize that alif and make it into a madda, stretch it for 2 counts. So I would say salasila wa aghlala wa sa'ira. However, if I'm going to join it together, all the words, then I would say salasila wa aghlalan wa sa'ira, and disregard that alif, which is next to the lam. Now the last example is of Surah Al-Insan, and this is the word qawarira. So here again the same concept. If I'm going to join it together, then I would say qawarira. So keep it as just with fatah and disregard that alif and say qawarira qawarira min fidda qaddaruha taqdira. However, if I'm going to keep it separate, then I would pronounce that alif and I would stretch it for 2 counts. So I would say qawarira qawarira min fidda, and so this is the concept here. There is an exception to this rule. Again, it's in Surah Al-Insan, and it's in the beginning of ayah 16. Now, if we look at this alif, it's a little bit different to the previous round circles that you have seen on the alif. It's a little bit different. And this is known as the alif tafriq. Here, what we will do is we will recite this word without an alif, whether we pause or we continue. So how do we read this? So if you're going to continue, we would say قوارير من فضة قدروها تقديرا. So I would just disregard that alif with the circle and I would read it just with the ra with the fatah. If I decide to stop on this word, then I would disregard that alif with a fatah and I would put a sukoon on that ra. So I would say qawarir. And then I would carry on from قوارير من فضة قدروها تقديرا. So what have we learned in this lesson? We know what the 7 alifs are. We understand the effect of the 7 alifs when reciting. We are able to apply the rule of the 7 alifs correctly. We can identify the various places in the Quran to apply this particular rule, and we know the exception to this rule. Hope you have benefited from this lesson. Keep seeking knowledge. Ma'as salama.